one of the best team builders I think ever to play this game, and he makes really like sometimes I feel like his team calls are like just phenomenal. Like he was, I think, the reason, honestly, Carmine Top Buffini is just such a big thing now. Like he brought that, and now it's just dominating. And like you can never count him out. He hasn't been playing as much in recent years, but I think it's really cool to see him in this event because I always considered him like one of the top 5 players in the country of all time, and really one of the best players at Worlds every year he competed at. And you know, he's come close to winning Worlds twice. Like he got 3rd back in 2011 in seniors, and then top 8 in 2013. So and then he played in Worlds in 2014. So it's really cool to see these guys go up against each other because this is like a matchup that could have happened multiple times at the World Championships, but never did because they actually never competed at the same World Championships. Which is really crazy. So I think I mean, Shoma is someone I know I was very excited personally to watch because we never get to see him play, and because of the way the Japanese structure is, as I mentioned. Enosh is someone who we've seen a little bit more of. He's actually made some stream appearances at regionals like last year and this year in San Jose, but like this is a really cool matchup because it's 2 players who have such storied history, some of the greatest within their countries and in the world, as really everyone in this tournament. But this matchup specifically, I think is going to be really neat.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And I think like what's cool about this is we have like a list, right, of like the best players to never have won a world championship. Yeah. And we have Marcus, and I definitely think, especially with how strong Enosh has been this season, he's definitely like putting a name for himself of being on that list. And what's scary about Enosh is that he's a player who isn't like sometimes like when you make eccentric choices in team building, it takes guts, and you're like, oh, I'll just do the standard. Like I don't know, I don't know if this is good, but like Enosh, he's not worried. You know, he is like one of the most confident players I've ever seen. Like he's so confident in himself, and in his decisions that like he will make those weird choices. You know, we've already seen a lot of cool tricks from Enosh. When I asked him earlier, like, what percentage do you think of your tricks do you think you've revealed? He was like, maybe
like 2.
Yeah, he's like 2 tricks. 2 tricks. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes on here because we have like in a way we have kind of a cool like distinction between 2 styles of being creative. Where Enosh is more standard Pokemon with unconventional sets, and Shoma is just running off the wall. Like who even knows? Like I don't even know what half these Pokemon like are. You know?
Which is I think that's actually really cool for me to see because Shoma was a player that everyone in 2015 was like, because he was basically the best chalk player in the world, and he really proved that. Like I think that's a testament to his skill because everyone looks at 2015, they're like, everyone used the same Pokemon, like this isn't skill at all. But Shoma literally like beat every mirror match, and he only played Japanese players in top 8, top 4 in finals in his run at Worlds. He played Sejong Park in the last round to make top cut at Worlds in 2015. So I mean, that's just like such a stacked schedule, and to be able to win mirror matches in a format like 2015, like I think Chalk was probably one of the most, if not the most, like skill-based mirror match we've ever seen in VGC in terms of team archetype versus team archetype. But I think it's really cool because Shoma is demonstrating in this tournament, hey, I don't only use like cookie cutter stuff. Like he's using a drift blow. We saw a rain dance on the drift blow. Like you see Gyarados, he's a Pheromosa.
Yeah, also he has rain dance and he played the only Torkoal round 1. Yeah, isn't that funny? I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like as Shoma, like even in London, I remember I think he had Hidden Power Poison Tapu Koko. I think he told me afterward, he's like, no, not a good idea. But like I don't know, like so it's really cool to see him make these unconventional choices, and I would love to ask him what determines whether he's going to go standard or whether he's going to go something like very off the wall. Like I think that's really, really interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited for this matchup. I don't know. I think I'm favoring Enosh, honestly. We haven't seen.
I was gonna say it's kind of tough to say because like I feel like I've seen so little of Shoma's plays, and the only format I really have like context of him in is in 2015. Whereas we've seen Enosh, we played against him 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. Yeah, he's like had really noticeable teams and made really big meta calls in each of those years. And I think a testament like. I still think like Enosh is one of the few players in the world who is able to take an idea and really just make it work. Like his Worlds teams have featured some really cool stuff. I know 2013 he used like Nasty Plot Thunderous, and everyone that year was using
right?
Yep. Which was so cool because everyone was using your typical, bulky Citrus, Thunderbolt, Thunderwave kind of variant. He had Excadrill, I believe, on his Worlds team as well that year. He was one of the few people who were using like bulky Tornadus back in 2011, whereas everyone else was using offensive Tornadus. But that's not to say Shoma doesn't innovate with cool stuff as well. Like he actually had Sunny Day on his Amoonguss that he won the World Championships with back in 2015.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah. But it looks like we're getting into the match. Enosh has raised both of his fists and is making boxing motions towards the screen, but I don't think Shoma can see him because he's in Japan and Enosh is probably on like Pittsburgh. But yeah, so Enosh actually leading with Arcanine and Porygon 2 against Shoma's. Let's see what he has. Pheromosa Lele. So these are very, very different leads.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and Enosh is a pencil. What do you think? Wait, Arcanine outspeeds Lele. Are you surprised by that?
Oh wow, yeah, that's actually surprising because typically like Lele's kind of want to go faster, specifically honestly to outspeed Arcanine and whatever's in that speed tier because I think they speed tie. They're both 95, but Lele typically is like if you run timid, then you can get like they could speed tie here for all we know. But this is interesting because you get the Intimidate off against Pheromosa, but if Pheromosa has like the Z move, like that can still really threaten the Porygon. And Lele threatens Arcanine immensely with a huge Psychic, but offensive Arcanine can obviously do a good amount of damage with Flare Blitz. So like we can see a lot of damage going off immediately. Shoma's team that really requires him making the right calls. I feel like you really need to like just pick off damage immediately and start going from there because pulling comebacks otherwise is pretty difficult.
Absolutely, I could not agree more. And actually, as I recall, I think Shoma might actually have choice specs on his Tapu Lele from the damage that it did to Agloza's Porygon 2. So let's see, high jump kick bringing. Let's see into the an amazing switch by Enosh. Wow, and I think we might see Fire EMZ. Yeah, we do. So Enosh,
that's so big.
That could be very. If you're Shoma, you might be saying to yourself,
"You're like, what did I do?
What have I just done?" I'm very upset with myself. So let's see. Arcanine going with for an Inferno Overdrive. If it goes into that Lele, I think it might KO, honestly. Let's see.
I think so, too. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Because I guess it's a little bit bulkier, given that Arcanine's going first. But still, like, Inferno Overdrive is
that's a strong move. Powerful. Yeah, so let's see. Tapu Lele's going to lose. No, all of its health. Let's see. But he targeted the Tapu Lele. So, oh, my God. That was disgusting. You see how much damage that did? I'm going to throw up. That was so much damage.
Yeah, like let's talk about that turn. So Shoma was obviously like he was like, I don't want Trick Room to go up because if Trick Room goes up, I'm screwed. So double up on that Porygon. So Lele looks like it is probably like maybe like max special attack and max HP or just very bulky. Yeah. Going okay, I'm choice specs. I can afford to be a little bit bulkier. I don't need to go first all the time. So that was a really good switch. Like if Enosh picked up that knockout, it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
But still, like I think Enosh is in a pretty decent position. Pheromosa is intimidated, but Pheromosas typically carry Poison Jab. The thing is, Arcanine here can either pick off the Lele or can go for a Flare Blitz onto Pheromosa. However, I would think a Spec Psychic actually probably just knocks out Arcanine. So
I would.
You gotta be a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's what's cool. So if let's say Enosh doesn't switch, he oh wow, he stays in. Okay, I was gonna say that he might Poison Jab could probably pick up the Lele, but
right.
Oh no 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 no. Tapu Lele revealing a 50% health berry, healing all of the health that Shoma worked so hard to achieve. Definitely interesting with the Calm Mind Lele.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and this
Gyarados comes in. I like that switch in for sure. Unless Enosh does have Wild Charge on Arcanine, which very well could be the case.
We've seen Toxic and Flare Blitz, and I don't know if you've seen Protect, but yeah, this Flare Blitz should probably take out the Lele here. I'd be shocked if he went into the Gyarados slot. Yeah, Lele does go down here, so let's see what Enosh does. Do you think he goes for a Psychic? That's probably Psychic would honestly do a lot of damage to that Gyarados. Yeah. Let's see. Flare Blitz do a little bit of recoil.
I think, yeah, but he does choose the Psychic, and I like that play by Enosh because he knows, okay, oh my goodness, that did so much.
I'm gonna throw up. That was so much damage. Oh my God.
It's just an offensive beast, even with these bulkier variants that we've seen. But the reason I think Psychic is a smart play as opposed to say Calm Minding is because Shoma might be able to like get the Pheromosa back in, and then even like at that point, once you've Calm Minded, sure you've got the boost, but then Poison Jab just threatens you with a knockout at that point anyway. So
yes,
Enosh was going for like guaranteed damage that turn. Like there's nothing that Shoma's team really has that can switch into a Psychic other than maybe Magnezone. And even Magnezone takes like a decent amount.
Yeah, because it doesn't have good special defense.
Yeah, and like there's like I don't think Magnezone's the best Pokemon to bring in this matchup when there's a Garchomp and a Arcanine. Not saying like you can make a case for it, but I think Enosh has been playing this really well. The way you kind of play against hyper offense when you're using a bulkier team is making sure they don't get like huge turns off, and that's basically exactly what Enosh has done. He's denied Shoma of picking up any big knockouts, but maybe with Pheromosa coming back in here, he can turn the tables a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very astute analysis. And I think the fact that Shoma's already lost a Pokemon, he has to be really careful because while this isn't over by any means, he's definitely, I think, at a disadvantage. And we have to keep in mind, Enosh has already shown that he has that Porygon 2 in the back. And without Pheromosa, who is, by the way, super frail, I think Enosh might have like a lot of trouble with getting rid of that Porygon 2. So we'll have to see what the trainers decide to do here. There's a lot of options coming out, but I think if you're Enosh, you have to be feeling pretty good about this position.
Absolutely, because Yeah, Pheromosa is one of those Pokemon where it's like it doesn't typically stay on the field for very long. Either it switches out or gets knocked out. So we do just see a Poison Jab immediately, though. We know this Tapu Lele is pretty bulky. Can it survive the Poison Jab? It does!
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. That is really, really, really good if you're Enosh. Depending on what Gyarados does. Let's see. Pheromosa probably has the Sash. Yeah, so Focus Sash activating on Pheromosa, but depending on what Enosh does, he can honestly probably seal up this game right now. If he goes for a Dazzling Gleam, Gyarados goes for a Dragon Dance. That's pretty big, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to put Shoma back into this game. Let's see what happens. If it's Psychic or Dazzling Gleam, let's see.
Probably a Dazzling Gleam.
Dazzling Gleam, yeah. So it's 2 Pokemon on Shoma's side against the world, and I just don't see how he's going to... Wow, that's a lot. A crit, yeah, it was a critical hit.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't talk about it, but Citrus Berry on Gyarados is not common. And it makes me wonder...
Yeah. Like, typically, you see like Water MZ, like A-Drive actually had on his Gyarados, but Shoma opting to... the Citrus definitely helps him a little bit. He's like not out of it because he's got the Garchomp with the Z move.
Actually, Aaron, he could bring this back because like he's got boosted Gyarados and he has Swords Dance Garchomp, and both of these mons are in Earthquake range. Yeah,
so like this is like a case of hyper offense where it's like Shoma, obviously he's got really weakened Pokemon, but he's at the point right now where Enosh is in a really bad position. Like, Enosh can't do much right now other than switch, and he needs to make a good switch or two. Like, if you're Enosh, you might be considering switching Arcanine out and back in, but like you say, like, Shoma's actually in a pretty solid spot, especially because he's got that Swords Dance potential with Garchomp. So we'll see whether he goes for that or not, because if he gambles really hard in Swords Dances while losing Gyarados, that would be really bad, because Shoma needs to basically make sure he has both Pokemon out on the field. He's not going to be able to bring it back only with Garchomp, but with Gyarados and Garchomp, it's definitely doable. So Arcanine does switch out. Let's see what Shoma does here. I think this is really the big turn.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And let's not forget, Garchomp has Tectonic Rage. So that could actually make a big difference. So Garchomp just goes for an Earthquake. Okay, wait, Gyarados Earthquaked?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Aaron, I think he Earthquake Swords Danced.
Yeah, I think so too. That would
make no sense. Shoma, please have mercy. Oh my God, Shoma, how did you do this? There are children watching. What on earth are you doing? Oh my gosh, that is absolutely insane. Shoma, just say, Aaron.
I was gonna say, I was like, okay, because he probably has to. He can only Waterfall with Gyarados, right? So he can only target, which means Porygon probably comes in for free. But Porygon took damage, and Garchomp got the Swords Dance off.
Oh my God! And now, what is it? Enosh doesn't wait, Aaron. Enosh doesn't have any resistances or immunities to ground. He can. He has a free +1 Tectonic Rage, and he could. Oh my goodness!
So the thing right now is, one, what is Enosh's last Pokemon? Have we seen it yet?
No, we haven't.
Right. And can Arcanine knock out Gyarados? That's the other question I have. I'm not sure.
Do you think he has Extreme Speed? He has Psychic Terrain.
Right, so which I think he doesn't. And so now the question is Shoma going to just double up on a Porygon? If you're Enosh, like, do you consider the double up and sack whatever you have in the back, or do you just lose Porygon? Shoma does have a safe play. He can either Earthquake or Tectonic Rage, but I'm not sure a +1 Tectonic Rage would knock out Porygon in the range.
It's going to be close, I think. It might. Yeah, it's going to be super close. Gyarados protects itself, actually. Oh, God, wait, what? Shoma, what are you doing? Arcanine goes for Protect as well? What's going to happen? Is this Earthquake or is it Tectonic Rage? It's Tectonic Rage. It's going to be very, very close. I do not know what to expect.
Unless he targeted Arcanine.
Yeah, unless he targeted Arcanine, but I think he would Earthquake in that case. He has to target Porygon. Yeah. And Enosh is bending over. Oh, no, he just dropped something. Oh, my God. Tectonic Rage is going to take something down to the core of the Earth where Dweeha resides. Porygon 2 down into the core of the Earth. It's like serving, but it's the bad.
Is it going to pick up the knockout?
Oh, my God. Porygon 2. I'm so sorry, Porygon. You tried your best, and now you're gone. That was...
So I feel like that's... I don't know what the roll on that is, but I don't think that was a knockout.
That had to be close. A Kartana's the last one. Oh, wow.
This is going to be so tight.
Aaron, so he can... Garchomp's probably not in Kartana range, right?
I don't think so. But the thing is, because Gyarados protected last turn...
He can Leaf Blade the Gyarados, and then Leaf Blade the Garchomp and KO.
Yeah, so... Oh, this is so close. We know... I don't think we've seen Garchomp sport either.
He had Extreme Speed the whole time. He saved Extreme Speed and KOs with it.
That's huge.
Oh my gosh.
Means he won't get a Beast Boost off, but he's probably just going to Leaf Blade.
Yeah.
Wait, is that going to survive?
+1 Earthquake should not KO, but maybe with a crit. Maybe with a crit. Shoma needs this crit. Earthquake comes out, going to pick up the KO on Arcanine. What's going to happen to Kartana? Oh, just barely not enough. If that Extreme Speed had not KO'd, Gyarados would have been able to Waterfall. Oh my gosh. Well, that was an incredible set. Shoma bringing it back despite having a really initial really, really, really bad Pokemon disadvantage. So I don't know.
So I think the protect play is probably something Shoma's thinking twice about, because if Shoma didn't go for that protect, then the next turn he could Earthquake safely. Although I suppose then Enosh could have predicted the protect from Gyarados. Yeah. But that was a really incredible game. It really felt like Enosh was in control. Shoma brought it back with the Dragon Dance and the Swords Dance, but because the Gyarados was weakened enough already at that point, that's why it was so important Enosh went for that Psychic earlier. So that was absolutely incredible. We do see Enosh win the first game against 2015 World Champion Shoma Honami. Will Enosh be able to close it out? Let's see. That was really, really fun. Wow.
Aaron, you know what I just realized? Did you remember? So why did Gyarados have so much damage? It ate a Psychic, ate a Citrus Berry, then it took a Dazzling Gleam with that crit. So that critical hit Dazzling Gleam could have literally meant the game, because it would not have been an extreme speed range without the critical hit from that Dazzling Gleam. So that is, I mean, of course, there's so many attacks used each game. Some of them are going to crit, but wow, that was actually really interesting. And I think it was really clever of Shoma to recognize that Enosh doesn't have any really decent switch-ins to ground-type attacks, and having Earthquake on both his Gyarados and his Garchomp, that was really good awareness by Shoma, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely huge, and it's like a mark of a really good player. So having used the team, it's not that similar to Enosh's, but it's a team that doesn't have, say, ground resist, right? Like the way I kind of played with the team that I've been using is Porygon 2 is your way of beating Garchomp, because Porygon 2 can just Ice Beam it. But if you can check the Porygon 2 and force it out and then bring it back into a position where it can't Trick Room, you can just pick up a knockout, then it's literally just a sitting duck. So you really take advantage of that. And I think Shoma, played that really well, knowing, okay, I'm going to make sure that this Porygon 2 isn't going to do anything, because he lost his Pheromosa, but he still had a way to just one-shot that Porygon in the range that it was in. So that was really, really well played by both players. I think Enosh, when you're using a bulkier team, you have more switch options. But Shoma recognizing, I think that first turn, too, for Shoma was probably a little bit frustrating, because he expended all the resources. If he just Psychic the Arcanine slot, that might have just picked up the knockout with Psychic Rain and with the choice specs. And if Arcanine fainted there, that could have been huge. But instead, Lele was able to come in for free, and it had the berry to heal back. So now Shoma has some knowledge of Enosh's items. I think that's going to be huge, especially when you're using a hyper offensive team, because knowing where the berries are, knowing where the potential Z move is, knowing where choice items are, that makes playing with your team a lot easier, because hyper offense is all about, I think, a lot more about decision making and trying to make the right prediction. And when you know their items, it's a little bit easier to do that, because okay, this doesn't have protect, or this has the Z move, so it doesn't have a healing berry, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think it's I actually forgotten that because that mid game and end game was so intense and almost in Shoma's favor by the end, I'd forgotten that he made a terrible turn. No, it wasn't a terrible turn one, but that turn one went terribly for him, And
he still, it was that close in the end.
Yeah, he was literally if he hadn't crit, if Enosh hadn't crit, I think he would have won the game. Shoma would have won the game. So, yeah, obviously a lot of factors at play here. And although Enosh is one game from moving on 2-0 into the next round of the tournament, not having to worry about it. Yeah. And so no, you're fine. There's so much at play here, and there's so much to be gained, and Enosh has to be he has to be tasting it, right? He's so close to obtaining this goal that he really wants. Moving on, and all he has to do is get through one more game against Shoma. But Shoma, I don't know, he has so many tools at his disposal that I don't know. I definitely feel like he could bring this back. It looks like we're jumping right into it,
and we're gonna get into the second game. So this might be the last game of the day, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a long day, but we've got some amazing Pokemon matches, and we will obviously be back tomorrow for Championship Sunday. But we're going to start off right away. It looks like Pheromosa is coming back in with that Tapu Lele. So Shoma's saying, I'm not going to change anything up. Enosh saying, I'm going to bring my Porygon and my Lele. But if you're a Pheromosa staring down Porygon, you're probably pretty content.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is an interesting situation in that it's tricky, because on the one hand, Shoma really doesn't want Trick Room to go up, right? He really, really, really does not want Trick Room to go up. On the other hand, though, if he makes the call wrong, and it's let's say Enosh brings in Tapu Fini here to eat the high jump kick, and Shoma's going to be in a very similar position as to what he was in game one, where he just like wasn't in a good position because he doubled into the slot and it went poorly. But I do think I like this lead better. I like the way, Shoma's lead matches up better in this situation than I did the last one. But the threat of Calm Mind is really scary.
Yeah, we know that Lele is pretty bulky too, and it has a way to heal. So normally, if you're Lele versus Lele, I could just Moonblast twice, right? I'll just pick up the knockout.
Yeah.
Maybe not the case here, and it took that Poison Jab that we saw in the last game pretty decently well. So now the question is, does Porygon switch out? It actually does switch out
into Arcanine. So this could be very good for Shoma depending on what he did. He could have Moonblast's Poison Jab into the Lele, or I think as long as he doubled something, he should take a KO here, I think.
Yeah.
High jump kick comes out, it connects. Wow, that's unexpected. High jump kick into Arcanine.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Oh, it just
holy cow, did a lot. Yeah, Dazzling Gleam. Okay, so Enosh doesn't.
Yeah, his Lele goes first. I think for most having Sash here means that Shoma can play a little bit like this first turn. I can, no matter what happens, I still have like a good out coming out.
Yeah,
looks like Shoma really not wanting Trick Room to go up, so Arcanine does go down immediately. Arcanine was able to win that last match by getting that huge extreme speed off, but Lele is still looking pretty decent right now because the Pheromosa's intimidated and Kartana comes in.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So on the one hand, Enosh's Arcanine went down, which is like obviously not the best situation for him, but on the other hand, Kartana getting a free switch in here and having to Tapu threatening both these Pokemon. Not want to take a high jump kick, obviously, but Tapu Lele being scarfed into, probably Choice Specs locked into Psychic. I honestly this is not a bad position for Enosh at all, and I don't know, I feel like the momentum's in his favor right now.
Yeah. Just because Kartana exerts so much pressure, I think if you're Shoma, you might want to switch out the Pheromosa to maybe put some more pressure back in. It's actually going to be Lele switching out though,
and Drifblim coming in. That's not what I expected.
Drifblim is out.
Drifblim is on the field, guys. Wow, who could have expected that? Pheromosa goes for a U-turn into Kartana. So actually,
that's smart.
Okay, first of all, it's a critical hit. That's some big damage. Wow. What do you think he brings in here? Do you think he brings in Lele, or do you think he brings in maybe he Garchomp if he has it?
I think it's tough, honestly. Because it's like, do you expect that slot to get knocked out this turn? Like, what move are you anticipating from Enosh's end?
Yeah.
It is Lele. All right, let's see if Lele gets knocked out. It is still decently healthy. We do see the Leaf Blade come out. Ooh, going into Drifblim.
That's resisted. Yeah, this is a lot. Dazzling Gleam comes out.
So the interesting thing is we know that Lele is Specs, and as a result, he either has to switch back out or he has to sacrifice Lele this turn. The Drifblim, however, actually... Well, I guess Drifblim did get because of Unburden and the Psychic Sea, it's going to be faster now. So I know he actually has Shadow Ball, which we saw earlier. So maybe he just Shadows Balls to Kartana. Do
you think Shadow Ball picks up the KO? I honestly think it might.
I think so too.
I think it does because he's not Assault Vest. So actually, with Shadow Ball picking up Kartana and Moonblast into Lele, Shoma could be in a really nice position here. But we saw earlier that Shoma's Drifblim doesn't have Taunt. So far he has Psychic Seed Drifblim, which is very fast, Tapu Lele, which can't protect, and Pheromosa with 1 HP. So he's got to be, this last one is Garchomp, he cannot allow Trick Room to go up under any circumstance. That'd just be game over,
Yes. So this is going to be huge because Shoma still has 4 Pokemon, but they're all, Drifblim, Lele, and Pheromosa are all heavily weakened.
Ooh, that could be
that's a great switch in. I really like that by you.
Yeah, that was very clever.
So do we see Drifblim go for a Shadow Ball? Maybe a double up into Enosh's Lele, maybe a Tailwind?
Oh, ooh. Shadow Ball, Calm Mind. Oh, man, Shoma, you're probably not happy about that one.
That was a brilliant play by Enosh. A really safe one at that, too, because I think he knows the Lele is faster than Shoma's Lele. So
he covers the option.
How much? Oh, that does
that did a lot, boy.
Oh, this is going to be... So this is interesting now, right? Because Enosh's Lele has been faster than Shoma's Lele, so he has a safe way to just target down the Lele slot on Shoma's end.
But he doesn't have Moonblast, so he has to go for Dazzling Gleam, and I'm not sure +1 Dazzling Gleam picks it up.
That's true. Does Psychic do more with Psychic Terrain?
Oh, probably.
I'm actually not sure about that.
I actually have no idea, guys. I could, if I had a calculator, I could do it, but it's because you have to do spread damage and then, it's too hard. We can't do it. It's late. We're sorry, guys. But
I like that play from Shoma. Ooh, what's gonna happen?
What is gonna happen? Oh my gosh!
Is he gonna Tailwind?
Tailwind!
He did it! Wow!
If Tapu Lele survives his turn, this is gonna be. That was an amazing play by Shoma. He correctly predicts that the opposing Tapu Lele is not going to go for a Psychic or a Dazzling Gleam. Tailwinds to ensure that now his Tapu Lele will outspeed his opponent's Tapu Lele, and Porygon 2 cannot protect itself because it doesn't have Protect on it. So now Porygon 2 is in range of Psychic, and there's nothing Enosh can do except pray for a low roll, I guess. But wow, what an amazing play by Shoma. He definitely went all in on that turn. That was so safe because even if Enosh is Porygon 2 went down there, Kartana comes in, and then he's got 2 Pokemon that outspeed Kartana. Wow.
I think the question is, if Enosh's Lele, knocked out the Lele on Shoma's end and Porygon just Trick Room, then I think this game would be a full 180 from where it is right now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't think any of us knows whether the Lele at +1 would be able to knock out the Lele on Shoma.
No, I have no idea. I'm just
But if that was a huge play by Shoma, that should really honestly just win him the game at this point, because like you said, we know Porygon 2 doesn't have Protect, so that's a free Psychic into that slot. And
yes,
that was incredible. Like Shoma, his team is so scary to use because it's like every turn, if you just mess up, that's it. But he's made the right calls. He made the right call against Alex Igloza, and he made the right call here against Enosh. So it looks like he is going to be able to force a game 3. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So really well played by Shoma, and nothing like, I mean, Enosh, like that was so tricky, you know, like I don't even feel like he really went wrong anywhere, except for maybe like losing Arcanine wasn't good, but it gave him good position to get into Kartana. I don't know. It's cool that Shoma brought Drifloon because on paper it doesn't look like it does much, right? But
yeah,
in this matchup, I actually really like it.
Yeah, oh man, that was so much, but I really want to know whether Enosh should have just knocked out Shoma's Lele there. With
I don't think it would, but don't quote me on that.
It's so hard to say because like both of their Lele seem super bulky.
Yeah, we saw it live Fire MC.
I feel like it might have probably been able to survive, but if not, like if Enosh just like he didn't even bother going for it. Like that was the thing, and Shoma found a way to punish that very heavily. Like the perfect. Like Shoma was probably predicting Enosh to go for exactly the play that he did. It pays off, and now Shoma is. We've seen Pheromone. We haven't seen the 4th yet, right?
No, we haven't. So it's Pheromosa. I would guess Garchomp, but Shoma's taken a long time to think about it, but no longer. He has decided. Pheromosa comes in with 1 HP. That has to be frustrating for Enosh, knowing he's so close.
I think it's Gyarados. Oh, it is.
No, yeah, it's a Garchomp. So I think Poison Jab, Tectonic Rage should just win this game for Shoma, because we saw like if Enosh protects, then he'll put himself into Poison Jab range. Yeah. And if he doesn't, he'll be in Tectonic Rage range.
Brilliant play from Shoma there, man. It was so smart. Like the constant doubling up into the target, knowing like that's where knowing the items helps so much, right? Okay, I know he's not AV, but if Kartana went for the protect earlier on when he doubled up into the slot, that could have been so bad. But he made the call. He was like, I'm just gonna Shadow Ball him. He's not gonna protect. He's gonna switch out of the Porygon. There's a Poison Jab from Pheromosa that should be able to. I don't know if it knocks it out.
No, it barely doesn't. But now Tectonic Rage should do it. Actually, you raise a good point. Where there was a turn actually where Shoma's Pheromosa goes for a U-turn into the Kartana, and we know Kartana has Detect, and it actually critical hits through Intimidate. So that's the whole reason why Kartana was at -1 in the first place and might have been in Shadow Ball range. But like that turn could have been really, like, if he just protected and Dazzling Gleamed, he wouldn't have had Pheromosa in the back. And I don't know how Shoma planned to stop Trick Room without his Pheromosa, except for like obviously the strong Psychics, but I think that could have been moved around. So we're going to game 3 of the last set of the night. The winner moving on into the bracket stage, the semifinals at least, or maybe the finals as well. And that's really exciting, honestly. So both these players are so close to being 2-0 in this tournament and not having to worry about it tomorrow, not having to be worried about being eliminated in bracket. I don't know. What do you think? It's
terrifying, right? Because you're in the position now where it's like, if I win this game, I'm guaranteed a spot. If I lose, I play Marcus, and like, oh man, like that.
That's a bad position to be in.
Play Marcus.
And if you win, you play. If you lose and then win, you still have to get through A Drive. You know, so A Drive is beaten 2. I mean, they're all right. Two players I think I've heard of before, but
Truly, honestly, like it's one of the most like legendary runs I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, like, shout outs to A Drive.
Yeah, like if you're watching this and like you're scared of getting into VGC, you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. Like A Drive, this man literally picked up the game a few months ago, said I'm gonna get good, worked with a lot of top players, and he literally beat both me and Wolf today. So that's motivation. Like,
he said it was his first 2 out of 3s. He'd never played 2 out of 3 before. How many World Championships have we played in? Like combined, 12, 11?
Yeah, probably something around there. Yeah,
11 World Champions versus first best of 3, no contest. So I completely agree. Actually, I know that's not shading against A Drive. I just think it's funny, but like if you're interested in getting into VGC, you should really be inspired by A Drive's run because it's honestly phenomenal. But we're not here to talk about Dan the Man A Drive. We are here to talk about the final game of the best of 3 between 2 behemoths, 2 giants in this game. He's using very interesting teams. Drifblim is a balloon and managed to win the game for Shoma, whereas Perform's like a piece of paper, you know. But I don't know. With this matchup, I feel like there's a lot of play. We actually saw Will-O-Wisp from Drifblim earlier in the set. Sorry, not in this set, but in the set versus Alex. And I think that could actually be really good here if he catches Alex's Kartana or Enosh's Kartana, because Drifblim, thanks to its Unburden ability will double its speed whenever the psychic seed activates, provided it doesn't switch out. And I don't know that, or maybe do you know if Unburden still activates if it switches out? I'm not sure.
If yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So as
it's just like if you don't have an item.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, Drifblim is super strong in this matchup, and or maybe it's not though, because like I feel like all Enosh has to do to win this game is get Trick Room up, right? Like if he gets Trick Room up, he's in such a solid position, but it's kind of hard to do that. Shoma's like pressuring him a lot, and there's a lot of mind games going into that turn one. Is he going to switch? Is he just going to go for the Trick Room? So, yeah, there's a lot at play here, but I'm really excited to see how this next game plays out, and I don't know.
This is like why I'm glad we have events like this, because like I've literally never seen team. So to see like this highlights why he's been considered Japan's best player, like one of the best, if not the best, and why he won the World Championships in 2015. A phenomenal play so far, and we're gonna get into this third game. Enosh not gonna lead a Porygon 2 this time, saying I don't want that Pheromosa. Looks like Shoma saying I am just gonna bring Pheromosa. This lead has worked out, even though like I've been able to play my way out of things. I'm gonna try it again, but I think if I'm Enosh, I like my positioning a little bit more because I do get that initial intimidate off.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think this position is really interesting because for me, it all depends on does Shoma have that Gyarados in the back? Because if Shoma has Gyarados in the back, he can bring it in here and KO the Arcanine with a Psychic. But if he doesn't, Enosh can just Dazzling Gleam and Fire MZ into the Tapu Lele, and that could be the game right there. Like that could be put Shoma in a terrible position. So last game, Shoma did not bring the Gyarados, so it's going to be, like, in my opinion, it's going to depend a lot on whether or not he has Gyarados now.
Yeah, I think the lead matchup here is very heavily in Enosh's favor, like you mentioned, because we know Lele has specs. It has to either stay in and, like, face the Z-move, or it has to switch out. And without the Gyarados, like you mentioned, that's a free knockout onto Lele or whatever comes in. Ooh, but we
protects from both. Did he go for a high jump kick? U-turn. Okay, no high jump kicks. Okay, that's fine. Shoma's breathing a little bit. He's like, whoo, okay. Okay, so that's kind of a dead turn, but really not, because that kind of implies that he has Gyarados, doesn't it? You wouldn't make that play if you didn't have Gyarados, right?
I don't think so, which is like if I'm Enosh and I'm still like, okay, this is pretty good. Even with Gyarados in the back, like the Z move plus a Dazzling Gleam would do a decent amount here.
Yeah, but
I suppose Lele would be able to knock out Arcanine, but then that's a free switching for Enosh. I don't know. If you're Shoma, like, hyper offense is where, like, if you don't lead properly, it's really scary to play out of because you often don't have many switches.
Yeah.
But maybe he was baiting that first turn. He was just trying to scout out. This next turn, maybe he will try to go into the Gyarados. Like, maybe you turn out into Gyarados and then go for a Psychic on the Arcanine.
Yeah, that's...
He doesn't have Gyarados, and I think this is going to be really, really tricky for him.
I could not agree more. Yeah, I think if you have Gyarados, now is a good time to bring it in. And the thing is that Enosh doesn't really have any... He doesn't really have any good switches to a Choice Specs boosted Psychic, and I take it back because he's switching out. That's his switching to Choice Specs Psychic. So it's Tapu Fini coming in here, which I believe is fast. I think we saw it was fast in that sub earlier. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. Let's see if Pheromosa goes for another U-turn. It does. This time, again into Tapu Lele. That's really interesting. What do you think? Who do you think is coming in here?
Yeah, I mean, if it's Gyarados, then if I'm Enosh, I'm probably like, okay, yeah, I made the best play possible. If it's not Gyarados, though, you would have been like, oh, that was a free opportunity to double up into the Lele slot and just pick up the knockout.
Do you think Enosh's Lele Calm Mind, or do you think it Dazzling Gleamed?
Oh, that's a good question. I think if you make that switch, probably Calm Mind.
I think so, too.
But we'll have to see. Maybe he's still, like, we saw him earlier just going on the offensive because he knows, okay, Lele, even though my Lele is pretty bulky, I do a lot of damage against his team. So Shoma thinking a lot about what to bring in here, which makes sense. We've got 3 Tapus on the field. It'd be cool to see Drifblim make an appearance, but then it wouldn't get the Psychic seed and it wouldn't have Unburden. So I
just don't feel like Drifblim does that much here, honestly.
Right. You could sort of tail in, but it's not that great. You could Shadow Ball. Fini, it's a huge threat. So, the Fini. Oh, it is Gyarados.
Okay, wow, great adjustment by Shoma to bring Gyarados game 3. I really agree with that.
Yeah, but also great play by Enosh, not walking into the and then we just try to fire Z move and Dazzling.
Yeah.
Dazzling Gleam instead of Calm Mind. Okay.
So Dazzling Gleam comes out, does a good amount of damage, but not too much. Psychic coming out as well. This should actually do a good chunk, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, that could be a big special defense drop. That's actually pretty big.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's like on a scale of 1 to big, that's pretty big. Not gonna lie. And now, okay, here's what's interesting, Aaron. So we've seen 3 of Enosh's Pokemon, which means that he's left either Porygon 2 or Cortana on the bench. Both of whom seem to be like pretty big portions of his game plan in the previous games. Like Cortana single-handedly won the game 1. So I'm kind of tempted to think maybe he has that, but
I want to say like you would Cortana makes a little bit more sense because you have the sash, so you get like a guaranteed to attack off more or less.
Mhm.
Before he got like then with Garchomp potentially in the back, that's really scary because you don't have ground resist like we were talking about earlier. So really well played by both players there. But I think if I'm Shoma, because I got that special defense drop, I feel pretty good about my position right now, especially because Psychic Terrain isn't up. So Lele's Psychic into Gyarados won't knock it out. In fact, it'll probably just activate the Citrus Berry.
Yeah, exactly. He actually switches Lele out here. This could be Arcanine, I think. No, Porygon too. So we've seen the last Mon now. Okay, that's interesting. So no Kartana, but he does have Porygon too. I think that's a good call. I really like Kartana in the other games. He goes for Muddy Water with Feeny. Oh my gosh. If he doesn't get an accuracy drop, there's a good chance he loses his Feeny here. Let's see. Muddy Water doesn't activate the barrier. Does he get an accuracy drop? On Gyarados, does he get it on Lele? On both Pokemon. Oh my god. Does Psychic connect? Okay. Enosh is clapping to himself. Enosh is saying, I applaud myself for my very skillful connection to Muddy Water and accuracy drop. So what is Lele going to do? Is it going to connect with Psychic? It is. Is it going to KO the Feeny? It should. It should. Feeny goes down, but I don't know. I don't know, Aaron. That was like a lot of Shoma can't stop the Porygon 2 at this point.
Yeah, so this might be an opportunity for Trick Room to finally go up.
Yeah, the Trick Room that never was.
Right, as Arcanine is going to come in. So, Shoma, the other games, in the first game, or in the last game, he was able to deny Trick Room. But this is tricky because I think if you're Shoma too, you got to be a little bit worried about the Muddy Water misses or the accuracy drops because, anytime you get accuracy drop, you want to play it safe and switch out. But right now he's in a position where maybe he wants to try to just knock out the Arcanine and force the 2v4. I think the really scary thing is it doesn't look like there's much he can do to deny Trick Room because we've seen Gyarados, I believe, with the Waterfall, the Earthquake, the Dragon Dance, and I think Protect. I mean, we saw the Earthquake and the Dragon Dance. So I don't think it has Taunt, and Lele's obviously Spec, so it can't Taunt either. So this is tricky. Like, Enosh is down a Pokemon, but I think he prefers this position because he has a very free opportunity to just protect Trick Room. So we'll see what Shoma tries to do to stop this. If anything, Shoma right now might be thinking, okay, Trick Room's going to go up. How do I stall out the next four? Oh, well, maybe he just goes for a flinch.
Oh, wow. Okay, so here's the interesting...
Or targets Arcanine.
Does it KO? It doesn't KO. Flare coming out. Arcanine's probably going to go down here, but here's the thing, Aaron.
He's going to feint.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to feint, but also, oh, no, that's so bad of your Shoma because... What we forgot is that Shoma's Tapu Lele undersped the other Tapu Lele and the other Arcanine.
Yeah.
So that was pretty bad. Trick Room goes up. That's not very good, I think.
Who's in the back, though?
Pheromosa on Shoma's side.
Watch it be Magnezone.
Oh, God. If it's Magnezone, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, me too.
It's probably not Magnezone.
It's got to be Garchomp.
It's got to be Garchomp. And he's got to get through 4 turns left of Trick Room with... Oh my gosh, this is looking pretty bad. Oh gosh. What if it's Magnezone, Aaron? What if it's Magnezone? Garchomp, no! Get out of here, Garchomp! You weren't meant for this. Oh no. And here's the other thing. So, okay, wait. All Shoma has to do is make it so he's got 4 turns he needs to survive.
Yeah.
Oh, I
don't think he can make it through 4 turns, honestly.
I don't think so either. Especially with -1 and Gyarados.
Like the point you brought up earlier, though, I think Shoma probably should have switched out Lele because that gets him out. Like, if you sack Pheromosa, then your Lele outspeeds the Lele on Enosh's end. I think, like, Psychic's a 2-hit knockout as a Porygon, which is a big deal. You could either pressure it with Psychic, or you could Moonblast until a Lele slot. But now he has to stall out Trick Room. Maybe he, knew, okay, because I don't want Protect on Lele, I want to have Pokemon with Protect all out at the same time to try to stall out Trick Room, but Lele protects. That's
interesting. Garchomp also protects, which means that Gyarados... Oh, wait, no. Okay, so Enosh is putting his hands behind his head. Ice Beam comes out into Garchomp. This is interesting. Waterfall comes out into Lele. Oh, Enosh is clapping again. Enosh seems to enjoy clapping. Okay, here's the interesting thing here. Enosh can KO Garchomp, not with Ice Beam, with Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam, and I don't think Shoma can stop it.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. This is your ideal situation when you're playing with a Trick Room component of a team, where you have multiple turns in Trick Room, and you don't even have to predict anything your opponent does. All you do is press buttons, and whatever's coming in. If it comes in, it gets knocked out. If it stays in, it gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And there's no way to prevent that unless you get multiple protects off consecutively.
The other thing is that Shoma's Gyarados was intimidated, so it's only neutral and it's -1 accuracy. So
yes.
What's going to happen here is that. Oh, actually, I don't know. So this is kind of a sticky situation. He's 1 turn short of where he needs to be. Ice Beam coming out into Garchomp. We can probably expect a Dazzling Gleam. Garchomp survives. Dazzling Gleam. So Garchomp's gone here, and Gyarados is probably activating his berry. So here's the other thing. Okay, there's 2 turns of Trick Room left.
I think Shoma should have tried to go for the double protector, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's afraid of the waterfall or of the psychic. But let's see if
Right.
waterfall connects. Oh, that's terrible. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Enosh is celebrating. Yeah, that's really unfortunate if you're Shoma because waterfall might have put Lele into another waterfall range and it would have forced a 50-50 or like a mind game of does he psychic my Gyarados or does he double my Lele or does he Ice Beam Dazzling Gleam and can I live? And I think honestly he could live in Ice Beam Dazzling Gleam. So he might need to go for the double protection. The odds of that happening are really small, like 1 in 9, I think. So, guys, if you're rooting for Shoma, put your hands up right now. Put your hands in the sky. Give him your energy because he needs it right now. Shoma's
It's. I think like the question here is, does Enosh predict the protect from Pheromosa? I mean, you probably would just want to target down the Gyarados, right? Like,
but do you take the chance that the high jump?
Right,
if you guess wrong, you lose.
Yeah, because Gyarados could protect and Pheromosa could just high jump kick Porygon or Poison Jar. I think Poison Jar probably would have knocked out Lele, but. That miss makes it a lot harder for Shoma. Like the matchup was already difficult as is, so definitely very unfortunate. But that's what happens when you go up against Muddy Waters. So this is really going to be the turn. Like, let's see. We do see the protect from Gyarados. Did Enosh call that and double up into Pheromosa?
No! He Thunderbolts Pheromosa. Does he Dazzling Gleam? Oh, he Dazzling Gleams! Enosh is going to take this. Oh my gosh. Wait, he had Thunderbolt that whole time. He had Thunderbolt that whole time. I didn't know he had Thunderbolt. Did you know he had Thunderbolt?
No, I did not either.
Wow. So Enosh... Wow, really an impressive play there, and the correct one, right? Where like Gyarados wasn't really threatening anything because of the waterfall miss. Things might have been different otherwise, but it looks like Enosh is going to scrape by this one despite losing some Pokemon early game. And I really think their deciding turn there was the decision to not switch out his Lele into Garchomp. I think that would have changed the whole set.
Yes. But very well played set by Blood players there. That like I thought Blood players were highlighting like really good plays. For example, Enosh when he decided I'm not going to double up into Lele even though I know I can't because there could be a Gyarados in the back. Yeah. Really, really smart decision. Shoma saying I'm going to bring Gyarados. Also really smart. But ultimately, Enosh like pivoted himself into a position where you could set up Trick Room, and Shoma didn't like make the one move that could have like made Trick Room. Like once Enosh got that Trick Room up and Lele fainted, that was so good for him because he didn't have to worry about the Lele on Shoma's end anymore. Yeah. And yeah, I think Shoma was probably trying to allow Trick Room there, but he was basically like one turn too short there. The waterfall miss on Lele was unfortunate because, like you said, I think another one probably could have knocked it out. So then at least